How's it going, everyone? It is the Investing Guy, and I got DjCrypto right here in the house. How
Yo,
you
yo,
doing,
yo.
DJ? How you doing?
I'm
How was your
good.
Christmas, man?
Christmas was good. Just kind of laid low. I had my kids before Christmas, and then I'll have them. Actually, tomorrow I get them when we're going out of town. So it's not on Christmas Day, but we'll have some fun after it.
Hey, right on, man.
I'm just
Right
taking
on.
some time off and chilling.
Any Christmas presents you want to share with us? You want to tell us about?
See, I got my kids a basketball goal at the house,
Nice.
but it's still in the box and it's on the front porch. So,
There you go.
um, let's see what I got. I got a guy I do work with got me a $250 Amazon card.
Ooh,
So
man,
that was nice. That was nice.
that's nice. Yeah,
That's
that's real
probably
nice.
that's probably my best one. I got some boots.
Ooh.
I got some snake boots.
Ooh.
So I have some land and it gets a little crazy out there in the spring and the summer. So got me
Yeah,
some snake boots.
that's cool, man. Next
What
time
about
you do
you? How
that,
was yours?
that Alex Becker impression, you got to be wearing those snake boots. Kick him
I'll
up on
get on.
the. Yo, that Alex Becker impression was hilarious, man. I love that video, by the way. That was some good stuff.
Yeah, when I got started and I started watching him, he's one of my favorite channels to actually watch just because
Yeah,
he makes me
he's
laugh. But
he's
I was like,
entertaining.
this dude, I always tell people he's me without a conscience.
Yeah,
So I think I have the same dark humor he has, but he
yeah.
just goes a little bit further with it. I just can't do it, but he's
There
funny.
you go. Yeah, no, I definitely like Alex Becker just for the laughs, just for the laughs.
So how was your Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. I spent it with family. My girlfriend. This was the first Christmas where my girlfriend spent it with her family. She wanted her to spend it with her family, so we couldn't be together. But yeah, I spent it with my family. We sung a bunch. We got a karaoke machine, so we were just singing and doing all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. Um, any Christmas gifts that we don't, we don't really do like Christmas gifts. We do more like a white elephant where everyone just brings a gift and then that's like our thing. We just, the white elephant, we go savage. So what did I get there? I got a massage gun, actually. It's right. Kind of looks like this one, a little
Yeah.
massage gun. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. So that's what I got for Christmas. How's it going, Obi-Wan? Show a few of these. Ready to get started. All right, DJ, I got a question for you. With the new year starting, I know that I'm switching my crypto strategy, and I'll share it with you guys right now. How I'm gonna switch it up, but I'm gonna let DJ go first. Is there anything that you're gonna switch with your strategy, with how you invest, or are you just gonna keep it the same? If it's working, why switch it? What are you gonna do this new year for 2022?
Yeah, so I'm definitely changing it up. I think 21. So I got started again in early 21. And so it was just like finding what I wanted, finding what I liked, finding what I could hold on to, finding what I wanted to trade, and just always searching what I liked, what I wanted to do. Now I have a position, if you will, in certain tokens that I'm satisfied with. So whether it's VGX, Stormex, Cent token, Avalanche, those are the ones that I have like set aside. I have some tokens of VGX that I trade because I feel like I understand the token pretty well.
Yeah,
I have some Cent tokens that I don't touch until I can use them later. Stormex I don't really touch; they just sit there and get me the rewards back. Um, Sometimes if I build up like an odd number of reward, I might sell them and do something else with that money. Like if a big dip happens, I'll kind of build it up, but because you can't really build to the next level with that token. It's just a benefit of staking and reward. Um, and then Avalanche, I put it all into NFTs, so I can't do it anything until I sell those NFTs.
yeah.
So that was like just something totally new for me to just put that much money into it.
Yeah. Was
But
that before the NFT crash or after?
it was like the day before.
The
Yeah,
day before. Ooh.
yeah, it was like a few weeks ago, and everything crashed right after that.
Yeah, that NFT market is dangerous, man. I mean, I know I luckily I made a few thousands, but I was getting scared. I was like, I stepped away. I thought crypto was volatile. I'm like, nah, NFTs are insane.
Yeah, it's a mess, and it helps me not sell my Avalanche or my AVAX, and so I just sit there, forget it. Whenever the game comes out and the metaverse comes out that they are used on, then maybe I'll get something out of it. So whenever that happens, I don't mind sitting on it. I just
Oh,
hope
there
I
you
get
go.
something out of it.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't one of those like profile picture NFTs or something like that. It actually has a use
Right.
case to it.
It's
That's
it's AVAX Homes, and it's going to be built on Kaleo, which is the metaverse on Avalanche, and it's totally speculative. Um, I have no idea if it'll work or not. We'll see.
We'll see. Hey,
But
never know.
so I have those 4 set, and then Luna is my other top 5 token, and so I have some now, and I'm about to buy some more tonight, and so I'll be taking that um, and using it. So I've traded it all year long. Um, I'm on like my 6th round of buying and selling it, but this time I'm actually going to use it. So I'm going to do like some interest bearing accounts. I'm going to do some lending off of it, just to try it, just to show how to do it. And then all the new money that I have is going into the Terra ecosystem.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty much set where I want to be set. The tokens that I want. I don't really have much of that gamble itch like I had last year. I'm kind of good, and I expect maybe 4 to 6 months before we see some big gains really happen. And if it happens along that time frame, great.
yeah, that's what I'm
Um,
thinking.
but any new money that I get over these next couple months, it's going to go into the Terra ecosystem pretty much only.
Yeah,
Just
I
kind
mean
of
that.
build crypto
Yeah,
lending is important to me, and I can't do it yet on Voyager, and so I want to do it through Luna to mess
yeah,
around with that and see how it works.
yeah.
What about you? What are you doing?
So what I'm switching this year, I don't know if people that follow my channel know that I'm a huge I believe in USDC, and I think that if you want to be in crypto, you got to have a nice chunk of USDC, and that's what I preach in my channel. Have some USDC, and it gives you that peace of mind. If things go down, you are able to recover with the interest from USDC and whatnot. So I really do that. At least that's what I tell my family. That's what I tell my followers. Have some USDC in there. It's going to give you a peace of mind. It's going to help you stay in crypto for longer periods and whatnot. But I think this year, 2021, what I was focusing on a lot was building my USDC bag and making sure that I have that nice interest return every single month. But what I'm going to do this year, now that I'm getting my USDC payments that I want, I'm definitely going to focus more on purchasing more tokens that I do want. So I'm definitely going to work on moving on my next tier for VGX. Definitely going to work on getting some more Luna, because I did have some Luna. I had quite a bit, but I sold the previous peak when it was like at 70 something. And then I remember saw it back at like 50, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait and purchase it later. And then I never did. So I kind of messed up there. So I'm going to, work my way to getting some more Luna. But I do have the tokens that I want on Voyager. So what I'm going to work on is a minimum of 10. That's every day, a minimum of $10 every single day, no matter what the state of the market is. Minimum of $10. And then if things go down, that's when I'm going to have my cash reserves and be able to purchase the dip how I'd like, and then purchase the tokens that I'd like. So yeah, that's kind of my plan. Building up my bags and definitely focusing. I know you don't like Ethereum, but I'm going to focus on getting some Ethereum, getting some Polkadot, the coins that give you a lot of good interest on Voyager. So that's kind of what I'm going to be working on. Some Matic, definitely going to get some Matic, and yeah, so that's kind of big. That's going to be my plan.
Yeah, it seems
So
like a lot of people are kind of focusing on like those major players
yeah,
again. Like, we had a lot of nonsense in 2021. People are kind of like, all right, I've had enough of that roller coaster. Let's bring it back home and get in into the big boys that we want to be into. But yeah, I hate Ethereum with a passion. But I always say it will do well. It will be there. It will do well. It will go up.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be a part of it. But absolutely, it's going to do well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised, and I would expect it to pass Bitcoin one day. As far
That's
as
what
the
I'm betting
market
on.
compared, but
That's exactly what I'm betting on. I believe the flippening will happen. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but I do think it will happen. So I'm a believer of the flippening. I doesn't mean I don't like Bitcoin. I love them all. You know, it's I like many cryptos.
yeah, yeah. So I think it could get there. If not this roundabout, if the 4 cycles stay true, then the next cycle I definitely think it would happen. I mean, it came close to this one, but I think the next cycle it could. And even if it does, I won't regret one day. I don't want to be a part of it, but it's going to do well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be there's going to be many coins that are going to be successful. You know, not just there's not going to be just one winner. You know, and I think that's what's wrong with many of the maxis. You know, they're like, oh, this is the one. No, there's going to be many. There's going to be chance for many tokens to do well. So all right. I think you already mentioned some of them, but did you do a top 5? You did a top 5, right? On coins to watch out for 2022?
Well, I actually don't think that they're going to be the best performers, and that's kind of weird to say. I'm not just looking for what could go up the most. That's a big determination as far as what I would get into, but not what I hold.
Yeah.
I'm holding what I
Believe in.
won't let go of.
Yeah.
So, it's the Cent token, Stormex token, and the Voyager token. Those 3 because I know the people running them. I understand them well. I know the people in charge and those things. Like, I'm where I want to be and not letting go. And then the Avalanche, because they partnered with Voyager, opened up a lot more things for me to have access to understand that better. So that would be another one. And then Luna is the one I've been saying all year has the best, what I call the best tokenomics. I've been calling it a beast, and I love it. And I would trade it because of that. Like, I knew when it would go down, it's going to go back up, and I would be happy with my profits. And I was just using it on Voyager. And the thing with the Voyager app is it only shows you 1 decimal.
Yeah.
And so that's a little disheartening. However, on the back end, they actually give you 2 decimals, which is pretty common amongst most of the platforms. But, like the interest, I could care less about the interest because I don't hold it long enough to get the interest. I traded it. So I bought it pretty good at my levels. I bought it pretty good I had under a $5 average, and I sold it at $11. So that was incredible at the time. I thought it would dip again, and it didn't. And then I got back in along the way. And I just recently, I bought it at $100. I sold it at like $98 a few days later. And then I bought it back at like $94. And so that's where I'm at right now. But I have it on KuCoin.
I see.
So I gained like, I don't know, 3.5 tokens by that. But I'm going to be in the ones that I'm not letting go of. So yeah, so those are my top 5. I love a lot of other tokens. I wouldn't put like $5,000 into something else and have any hope of holding it, because as soon as I made 30 or 40%, I would sell it and put it into something else. So why not just do that to begin with? That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, when I did like a top 10, but the top 5 were my tokens that I truly do believe in, you know. And I think it was Voyager was at number 1, the VGX. We had Matic at number 2.
Yeah, I love Matic.
Yeah, Matic, and then with it being deflationary and all that, that was a big thing for me, you know. Mana, and then I had Polkadot, and then Ethereum.
What was your third one?
Mana.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Mana. So those were my 5. but it's the ones that I believe in, but pretty much doesn't mean that I think those are going to be the ones that are going to do best. It's more that like those are the ones that I believe in. Let's get into some Voyager. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So I want to start off with a little bit of controversy. What do you think, DJ? What do you think is the one thing that is keeping Voyager, the Voyager app, from being like the one of the top players? Because we have Coinbase, we have Crypto.com, whatnot. So what do you think is keeping Voyager from being the one of those big players when it comes to crypto exchanges?
I think it's just time.
Yeah.
I think the inevitability of time will cause Voyager to be at the top. They're going after the decisions that they make, others are copying. And so other companies, other platforms are trying to keep what they had in advance because they're older, they've been around longer, they had the connections sooner, things like that. But they're losing ground, or I think they will lose ground long term because they won't make the right decisions. It will continue to be an overhyped market, and eventually that will crash. Not necessarily crash like it just goes away, but people will see through it. People will ultimately choose what is best for them. Right now, there's not a clear in everyone's mind, this is the best. It's like, I like crypto.com because it's flashy, because it's everywhere, because the marketing is everywhere. They make me feel good about my investment. They make me feel like they care. But if you looked at who runs it, it's like, is that going to pass through regulation if regulation comes? Exactly. I don't know. It seems like they're hiding everything. Or they like the debit card because it's metal. Like, really, is that really what you're going to decide is a metal card? Because you get freaking free Netflix for spending you're going to spend $4,000 to get free. Actually, I don't even know I think you get it at that level. $4,000 to get free Netflix when you can spend $10 a month and get Netflix and go have a better product if the product is better elsewhere. So I think people are making decisions off of marketing and hype and not off of substance. And so when the substance is there for Voyager with a completed loyalty program, which they don't have yet, with stocks and education from Tommy Lee and Market Rebellion on the platform, when you have all the mechanisms of the loyalty program in place, when you have all the money they are about to spend for marketing in place, I think that ultimately leads to a better substance that people will buy into more than the hype and the flash. Coinbase has just been, I had Coinbase for, I think, 5 years now. I've had a Coinbase account 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 years. And so it's just there. People know it. It's just easy. Elon Musk uses it. So it's always going to have that name. It'll be there. It's just, it doesn't hold up to the substance of what is offered on Voyager. So like when customer service is there, when some of these negatives that get in the way of like why people are burnt by them, or any negativity that is said, like when that's out of the way, there's going to be no reason. And they're for the most aggressive to get.
Yeah, I think I agree. The one thing that I really like about Voyager is the ease, how easy it is to use. And like literally anyone can use it. And I've had issues on BlockFi. I've had issues on Crypto.com. I've even had issues on Coinbase. But when it comes to Voyager, I haven't had like any issues. And it's insane because I remember the one issue that I did have, I contacted customer service and they like fixed it right away. So, I do get some people like on my channel because I do have like how-tos on Voyager and whatnot. And they're like, oh, this and that, the Voyager, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hey, man, have you contacted customer service? And I'm pretty sure they'll fix it, I think their customer service is like it's like A1, it's the best when it comes to customer service. So I do want to, I think you mentioned something that was pretty important, which you said that Voyager's like slowly eating away at the kind of like the customers of the other ones or something like that. And check this out. I was looking at their report here, and this was pretty cool here. Steve said this: another measuring stick of the success of our strategy is that we're delivering significant funded account growth during the September quarter, while our public company competitor is reporting a decrease in funded accounts for the quarter. So that's pretty interesting. Voyager is over here growing while competitors are actually decreasing in terms of funded accounts. So when I'm pretty sure they're talking about maybe crypto.com. I'm not sure because I know that
Oh, it's
Steve
Coinbase.
Coinbase was it
Yeah, it's the other
Coinbase?
public one is Coinbase.
Oh, there you go. So Coinbase. I know that Steve has taken some shots at crypto.com. It's like, oh man, that tweet when he said spend how much was it? 70 million?
700 million.
Oh, damn, that's right. 700 million. I
Yeah,
mean, that tweet
over
was,
20 years.
geez, that is insane. Either spend it on a name of a freaking stadium or give it back to your customers. And I think that's what I really like about Steve is that I feel like he genuinely, truly cares about his customers.
Yeah, I think things like that are going to boost temporarily, like who gets into crypto.com and things like that. And yeah, she's calling out Elliot.
I
Elliot's
know.
late.
Come on, Elliot.
Joker, man. And so stuff like that, it's like a flash in the pan. It's going to happen right now. But long term, that's a bill you got to pay for 20 years. And how much excitement's going to be there 5 years from now because you get the name. Like, okay, the name is there. Great. You just helped everybody else in crypto because the word crypto is there. But that's a big bill to pay. And so being intentional about it, where the funds are much more limited than what crypto.com has. Um, I think they'll do it right because they haven't even started yet. Really, they've used less than 5%, I think, of the investing budget. I mean, they have other funds like from revenue and stuff like that they can spend and have spent, but from like the marketing pool, I think we're still above 35 million tokens. So, I mean, that's 10% or less has been touched.
Yeah. And I mean, I think this quarter they said that they added some new streams of revenue, right? And they also, they're doing staking now? They're doing staking and
Right.
getting
Yeah,
revenue
they
from
have
staking.
two partners now. Everybody knows of Block Damon. I forget the name of the other one, but they have two partners that they're working with at least on staking.
So that's really
So
cool. So they're,
yeah.
I'm guessing they're getting some money from that. And then that's probably because a lot of the questions that I get is how does Voyager pay, like their interest and whatnot. And one thing, for example, their USDC, I do a lot of USDC videos, and people are always asking me, how does Voyager, how can they pay this when you have banks over here paying fraction of a penny for having thousands of dollars, um, and pretty much what I tell them is, banks make money off your money, but they don't give you anything, whereas Voyager makes money with your money, but they actually give you a cut of it. But now lately, I've been going in deeper into how Voyager makes that money, and it's not just about making money off our money, but they're also using their own reserves and making money from that. And I'm guessing that's what they're using for us, right? So, one thing that I was worried about is the 9% on USDC, is that sustainable? But after looking at their report, I'm like, man, they're looking strong. It's looking quite strong. So as long as they can keep it up, they can keep on paying those rewards to their customers. What do you think? You think that 9% will stay for a while?
I think for a while, for sure. I mean, it's part of all their marketing. So I don't think they're going to spend all their money marketing right now and then change it in the next few months. But I mean, they can without notice, but they've also got to be market competitive. So places like Celsius and others who have high yield, you still got to compete with that. And I think I think Voyager actually spends some money to give the excess of like up to 10.5% just to stay competitive. It's part of their marketing is to be able to offer some of those things. So there's a pretty high incentive to leave that there with what they've already invested into it and what gets people in. If they have the data on what is getting people to sign up for a new account, where did the link come from? Where did the traffic come from? We don't get that data, but Voyager has that data. So as long as that's a tool for getting people onto the platform, yeah, they're going to find a way to keep it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you from people that I know that I've gotten into Voyager. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, about 7, like directly that I personally know them and talk to them. And it's been 7, and people like around me, my neighbor right over here, I actually got him to sign up a few days ago. But the one thing that they all wanted was that 9% on USDT.
Yeah.
So I think I agree that's one of their biggest thing. So hopefully they can keep it for a while. But I was having that conversation with someone else, and it was interesting. They pretty much said that was kind of like the same marketing strategy that was at Ally, I believe they used in the beginning when they first began. They were giving like 5% interest on whatever money you had with them, but slowly they started bringing it down. So I do think that for, in the long term, it probably will go down eventually, but it's going to take some while. I think right now that we have it, take advantage of it. So that's pretty much what I tell my family. I don't think it'll stay forever, but right now that we have it, use it, take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think it just, is the demand there for the lending that they do, as long as that's there, it'll be fine. But, like Obi-Wan in the comments there, he's talking about like DeFi revenue, and that's all great and potentially more beneficial, but there's almost no chance someone new is going to get into that. So that's like a next step. And so Voyager is going to focus on things at the moment of getting new people onto the platform. And then, like they said, they want to get into some DeFi products and offerings and things like that. And whether it's the Luna, the Terra protocols and stuff like that, great. I hope so. But at the end of the day, they are very prioritized on what is going to get at someone new. And when you talk about like Circle, USDC, Coinbase, all these trusted names in crypto, and they're all attached to that USDC. That's what they're going to get into. The flip side, they say regulation may come, but really it's what's going to not be taken out by regulation. It's what's going to survive through regulation.
And that's why I feel, I think that's why I feel very confident with Voyager, is because they're doing everything by the book, and you can see that because they're a public traded company. Whereas you have things like Celsius and whatnot, and you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. So it gives me a lot more confidence to put my money and, tell people that I care about, tell them like, hey, I feel confident in this. So
I think there's, like the DeFi stuff, that's a big deal on what's going to keep the money on the platform. So like, let's think about our progression through crypto. It's like USDC is in a lot of stories out there of what got them onto Voyager or what got them into crypto safely and comfortably. Now I'm in, now I know it's not a scam. Now I know it's okay. I'm comfortable, confident, whatever. Great. Your next step is, okay, let me go try some NFTs. Let me go try some DeFi. Let me go try this. Like that's your progression. And so if that's not available on Voyager, just like I took money off of Voyager and sent it to KuCoin to buy my Terra or Luna, and now I'm going to send that to a different DeFi protocol to use it. Like that's the money as far as assets under management that as time progresses, Voyager has to have those things because it won't always be get everyone new into crypto. That's the focus now.
Yeah.
Crypto for all, but longer term, it's going to be how do you take them to the next step just as easily, just as comfortably. And that's where, you're looking to things like Avalanche or Terra or whoever, Cardano, Polkadot, whatever. They're going to use all these people and all these projects to say, how do I keep money on my platform? And I think that's like that next step that's going to come.
Yeah, I like that because it's like newbies eventually become better, and how do you want to you have to find a way to keep them in the in your platform, and that I think I'm getting into that step where, like you said, I'm getting ready to try a little bit the things that are a little bit more advanced and whatnot.
I
So
had a
definitely,
had a conversation today with a guy who
yeah,
has like hundreds of thousands of dollars on Voyager, and he could take that same asset and take it off of Voyager and do these other things with it and get 5 times the rewards as what he could get on Voyager. He's like, nope, not touching it. And there's this mentality in people where, this DeFi and centralized and all this kind of stuff, like at some level, people just want to make it easy. Here, take my money. I hope it goes up. I'm good. You just do it. I know you're going to benefit from it. I know you're going to make money off of it. Great. Have at it. But I got what I got and I'm good.
yeah,
And we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of a single asset that literally all he has to do is move it and get 5 times the rewards. And he's like, nope, not doing it. And so I think that's just the mentality of a mainstream investor at the time. They're just not ready for it. They're just not used to it. So better for us if we take those steps and we get in early to those next steps that offer such high yield or high opportunity. I think it's better for us.
agreed. All right. Next thing. I think one thing that also makes me very confident in Voyager is definitely Steve Ehrlich. I'm going to tell you. So one thing I remember, I stepped into a one of our Twitter spaces for the VGX Heroes, and Steve actually took the time to be there. And what was crazy was that I think he was speaking to like 40, 50 people, when not, on Twitter spaces, which is definitely not a lot, given that same day, I think he was doing like a news report, televised news report, going to like who knows how many people. And it was like 3 a.m. He was in Europe, and he still took the time to talk to the VGX Heroes. So I think that spoke so much to me about who Steve is and how much he works for Voyager. And I really, that it's the leader. I really appreciate him, and I feel confident that he's going to do the right moves and take Voyager where it should go. How do you feel? How do you feel about Steve?
Yeah, he's all right. No, so one thing that hit me is I was in, excuse me, I was in Vegas, and I'm walking into this restaurant where they're doing a focus group. And as I'm walking in, Steve's walking out, and he's on the phone. And it's like, okay, we're about to go in and have this focus group or whatever it was. And this guy who's on a trip in Vegas has this focus group that he's about to be with. And he's on the phone with other people, like constantly working. And we make a joke like, dude, you got to stop working sometime. He's like, I can't, or something like that. It's some little just in passing. And it's like, it really hit home. Like, you see these people on Twitter, they're always bitch. I don't mean to cuss. Sorry. They're always,
Hey, it's all good.
they're
We're
always
not family
griping.
friendly.
And it's these Twitter nerds that are out there, like we all are. We're all Twitter nerds. It is what it is. But it's like we think that is the scope of the reality of what Steve has to deal with. And at the same time, when he talks about billions of dollars assets under management, I promise you it's not from 100 different people on Twitter. Okay. So there's a bunch of money all over coming here. And who do you think those people are trying to get a hold of? It's Steve. And he constantly is dealing with investment groups and all this other stuff. And at the same time he does all of that, he goes on Twitter and interacts with idiots, with big investors, with big influencers, with you and I, and so many people, and follows so many people on there, follows a lot of the VGX heroes, supports that group of supporters, all of these things. And it really is a different scope of leadership that you would never see in a public company, but you see it in a public crypto company, to have that accessibility is unique. And we all have things like, oh, I wish this was on Voyager, and oh, message Steve about this, or people ask me to talk to him. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But so this always comes up. We always have our wants of what we wish they would do. And he is hearing that from everybody. If it's that easy for you and I to approach him, he's hearing that from everybody. And it's like, all right, I can be a little bit patient if we've got 20 things coming out and he doesn't address these 2 or 3. Wheels are always turning. He delegates to other leaders within the company well. I know I've talked with him personally, and I've been like, I've got this deal with a marketing aspect of it. He's like, oh yeah, this lady, she's doing that, and I'll have to check with her. Like, he doesn't know. Like, no, he hired the right person to do the right job, and that person's got it. Like, Steve's not just in everything. So it's pretty cool to see that accessibility. Definitely believe in him. He's done it before multiple times. He has the respect of peers. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sold on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Steve is. I mean, he's a workaholic, man. He's gonna get it done. I no doubt in me. He's gonna. I mean, he's getting it done right now. I mean, look at what happened in Voyager this year. We went from, was it like 40,000 funded accounts, like in the beginning of the year, and now we're past 1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is, like, he's human.
Yeah.
Like he gets pissed off too. He gets annoyed too. He ignores people. He engages with people. And, I've argued with him, and he's gotten mad at me before. So, I mean, it happens.
Hey, I want to hear the tea. Come on. What was it for?
I don't know. But I mean, it's just like, it is what it is. And,
yeah.
We all have disagreements with people and dislike, I'm going to say, I like these 5 tokens, and somebody's going to be pissed off I didn't say their token. I mean, people always get upset at stuff.
Yep.
But if you look at the big picture, like we always talk about with crypto, zoom out. If you zoom out at what Voyager's doing, and we're in the middle of the best quarter they've ever had. They keep telling us this. It already happened. And, I mean, people don't see the numbers yet, but it's about to come out in maybe January or February what the numbers are. And it's another record quarter. It's like, they're not doing something wrong. Like, you're mad because they don't have phone call customer service. Okay. They just had a record quarter, so they're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
for sure.
Go call Coinbase then. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like if company like let's say crypto or Coinbase is huge, and you're thinking, the way that I see it is like Coinbase extremely, like, how would I put this? Like, you want, the only reason why I use Coinbase is to transfer something out of Coinbase. I don't hold anything on Coinbase, but Coinbase, I feel like if there's anyone that actually holds something on Coinbase, they're like extremely, very, like, they want that super ease of crypto, and they could easily be doing the same thing on Voyager, but actually earning so many more rewards. So, I mean, I just think it's a thing of actually knowing that Voyager's out there, and it's gonna be great. I don't. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna grow a lot. Yeah. Here's a good thing, DJ. I know a lot of the people want to hear this in the that are listening to this. I want to hear your your price target for VGX token next year.
So mine was $20 to $30 by the end of this year. And I believed in that, with the expectation that all of these things on the roadmap were going to happen in 21, which was the plan, which was the idea. And a lot of them didn't happen, which are like the biggest catalysts of all. So it didn't happen. All right. I thought the whole crypto market would be better than where it's at right now, and it's not. Okay. I'm going to pay the price on it because I made a bet that VGX would get to $5 by the end of the year. I think it hit in the 380s. So as it stands, I owe at least $1,200 to
Was this a
Scared
bet with
Bear
an
holders.
actual with Aragorn or who?
I just blurted it out because I'm an idiot.
No.
So I created this NFT project with another VGX hero who just vanished, but he controls it all.
Yeah.
So in order to like get some value back to those holders, I said, okay, I'll make this bet. And if you hold some of these Scared Bears, then only Scared Bear buyers and holders will get rewarded if I lose this bet. So as it stands, I've got to pay out $1,200
Oh
to
man.
these holders in some way. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll give 500 to one and 300 to another. And I don't know. Maybe I'll give 100 to 12 people. I don't know. But I'm probably going to lose that because it doesn't look good to the end of the year. That's fine. I don't care. And but going into next year, there's a lot of things that make me think, the first 3 months are going to be good. But then Steve says today on his interview, like it's going to be that next 3 months, like months 4 through 6. So I don't know, but I still think we're destined to hit that close to $20 mark. I just don't know if we have enough happen and enough time after it happens to actually get there because so many people sell off when it spikes. I trade it when it spikes.
I
I
traded
don't
too.
have, I have sold, there was one time I sold, I forget how many tokens I sold, like 10,000 tokens or something.
Oh man. I don't trade that
And
much. I think the
it
most I
didn't,
ever traded was like 100.
yeah, it didn't, or did I?
Well, you
It's
probably
like,
hold a lot more than me. That's probably why.
I
I
forget
don't.
there was a limit at a time that was lower than it is now. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm crazy, but I want to say it was like 10,000 tokens. And I was feeling crazy and I traded it and it didn't. I think the price went up after I sold that many tokens. Like people don't really understand what it takes if there's a lot of volume, what it takes to move that token price. If the volume is low, you're going to move it a lot easier, but it's going to take a lot. So, yeah, anyways, people are trading it off right now. We've got to have the VLP 2.0, which people are talking about in the comments. You've got to have that finalized and in place for people to stop trading so much because the rewards for trading are awesome. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm addicted to the trading rewards I get. So when that's done and that's in place, I'm going to be a lot more scared to trade that token because you never know what's going to happen next with stocks coming, with Europe coming, and all that. Once
Yeah.
people start holding it and they feel secure in it, I think the $10 is pretty easy. That's probably where I would probably bet again. If I make another bet, it'd be $10, but I think it could easily get that $20 mark. I've seen a path there. It's just I think $20 is where it should go.
All right. So real fast, give me a bear scenario. Where do you think you're going to be a bear right now, DJ? Bear scenario. Where do you think BGX will end up the year and at the end of 2022?
$2.
$2. Okay,
$2.
my bear scenario. I was thinking a 5 to 7. That's my bear.
Yeah. See, so I think I don't like election seasons. I don't like election years. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody starts hating each other. I mean, we've been hating each other for like 2 years now. I'm tired of hating everybody. Everybody hating everybody. But election years, everybody hates everybody.
Yeah.
So when that comes and people get cranky and angry and all that stuff, they start doing stupid stuff. The markets don't do well. I've been in sales my whole adult life, and sales are terrible all the time around election years. So if that impacts, you're going to be fighting for, okay, who's going to be pro crypto, who's going to be anti crypto, who's going to take over the house, and all this like fear is going to be out there, and that's going to be, like in November. So it's going to be at the end of the year. I think we'll see some crashes at that time. I don't want to be in crypto at that time. I want to be in something stable. I'll have the tokens that I hold, like VGX, Stormex, and stuff like that, but I'll for sure be profit taking before then. And so I think enough people know the future of VGX and Voyager to where I can't see anything below $2. Like, I mean, I'll sell my house again. If that happens again, I'll sell my house again.
They already
I
sold
don't
your
care.
truck.
I'll pay taxes on the gains. I don't care. I will buy it under $2. With anything, I'll sell my car. I'll rent a car for a year. If it goes under $2, I'll do it. So, and I think a lot of people would love the opportunity, especially if they make that higher tier, right?
Oh yeah.
Like if they make that black card tier or whatever, like I'm not there. So at whatever I think it's going to be, would I get there when it goes under $2? Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
All right. So
What do
that's
you
your $2. All right. So I think my bear, I'm thinking, I didn't think inflationary. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it down. I'm bringing it to $4. $4 to $6 is my bear.
And you also got to hope they don't use that marketing budget on something that will crash the token as well.
Yeah.
And they know that. They're aware of what that could cause, and they've been focused on like something that will hold it long term. But if they, put a few $1 million out there, like the Super Bowl ad, for example, if we pay for a Super Bowl ad with VGX tokens, do you think whoever we're paying for that is going to hold those VGX tokens? Nope. They're going to sell them on the market. So you kind of got to be careful what you hope for and wish for. Is that going to bring enough to offset that? So far, they've been smart about it, which is great. They've set up like funds and stuff like that, but that's another concern long term once they start using it, because we have no control over it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I think my bull scenario, I think I stand with what you're saying. I'm thinking anywhere 15 to 20. I think any news? I haven't really looked into it. Any news on Europe?
The end of March.
End of March is the goal.
Yep.
Hopefully it happens. And then debit card. Were they saying January?
And that's really, I think that's really just France.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's boom, all of Europe is involved with the VLP. I think it's just France, and then it kind of branches out from there. But you got to be in there, and then everything else is easier. That's my understanding, anyway.
Yeah. All right. You wanted? Let's get maybe some questions in here. If anyone has any questions, let's get them in, and we'll try our best to answer them. Any questions, comments, anything like that? Drop them down below in the chat.
And Obi makes a good point, like kind of like what I said, like if they use VGX for a Super Bowl ad, which I don't think they will, they have other funds to use for marketing. That's for sure. But yeah, the comment was based on like, what are they going to use that marketing for? Like there's only so many affiliates out there that you can buy with $150 million worth of tokens. But yeah, that's something that we have to watch. And while we're always watching that marketing budget to see where's it going, how are they going to hold it, stuff like that.
What do you think about the partnership with the soccer, the female soccer?
I like the idea of like you need to be getting into a women focused marketing concept. That's good. There are a lot of athletes, and so what Voyager does with these partnerships is not just like one thing, boom, you're done. They have one player of every team will be an ambassador for Voyager. So they will be in charge of like understanding Voyager and almost like a captain crypto of sorts for each of their teams. And so that's like deeper into that deal where there is that education aspect that a lot of times people will question of like, what's the education part? It's coming. And that's one thing is each team will have an ambassador. So if there's a lot of these female soccer players that have a big outreach, and if you get one of them as an ambassador for Voyager, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
More of a hope. I think they did the right thing with this player funds because that's what their fan base is so against is this league not paying enough and things like that. So Voyager actually comes in and helps that as their idea.
Yeah.
We'll see how that plays out. So that the intention was good, but that fan base is awful. That fan base is the worst sports fan base I've seen. And so I say that, but hopefully that gets mended in time as they start to see that Voyager's pro players, that crypto is real and legitimate. That's what their fear is. They don't trust anybody in like working with or handling their players. Fine. But so I like the intention. Hopefully it doesn't cost too much, and hopefully it brings back enough of a return, and not just like, oh, we need to do something like it's charitable. I don't want to be spending VGX charitably. I want a return on it. But I think it's yet to be determined. But
yeah, I mean, I like it on the aspect that it's really rare to see females in the crypto space, and so I like that aspect that we're opening it up to so many more females out there. I mean, just look at the chat. It's mostly, and I look at, I don't know if you've ever looked at your analytics, my YouTube analytics, but it's like 96% male, something like that.
Yeah, mine's like 80% female, but I don't know. I'm joking.
It's got to be the looks, man.
It's that Becker video. That's what did it. I mean, the analytics just flipped on me.
Oh man, I think I caught my girlfriend watching it. I was like, "Hey, what you doing?"
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
If she's watching this right now, it's probably because of you, not because of me.
Probably because of something stupid I say, not because of any look or anything.
No, yeah, but no, I like that aspect. That I'm thinking like their followers on social. Oh man. Is it time?
Now I look like a poker player. Now I look like I'm Phil Hellmuth or something.
If I put these on all the way, I look kind of like blind mice. Check this out. My nose is not meant for sunglasses. That looks horrible. I got to wear them like down here.
There we go.
Oh, jeez.
This will do it. This will get your analytics over 2%.
That'll do it.
I have no idea how this was just in reach, but whatever.
I don't have anything else.
I just have it sitting around just in case.
Just in case you ever need a raccoon hat. No, I don't have anything else in reach. All right, I think we got some. Some questions here. Where was it? I think someone said. Phantom staking on Voyager from Elliot or Oops.
He just bought into Phantom, and that's like what everybody does. Oh, they buy into something, now they want Voyager to just take them to glory. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know much about. I don't even hold any Phantom, so I wouldn't know how to answer this. I have no idea. You think? Let's see. You think we'll hear any more big announcements by the end of 2021?
Nope.
I don't know. There's a few days left.
Nada. Everybody's hiding. Everybody's scared of what's happening. And then 2022, it's a new ball game. That's when the money starts rolling back in.
Yeah, I think you save it. You start the year off with a bang. If you have any big news, you save it and start off strong. I think that at least that's what I would think. So I don't know. Usually these few days are quite quiet between New Year's and Christmas. So I don't really think anything big will be announced.
I think they always have something like in their back pocket they can pull out if they need to, like, because they're working on that, like the Mavericks deal. He said he was working on that for months. The Coinbase deal he's working on for months. All that kind of stuff. Like they're working on stuff in networks all the time. If the market recovers, if some competitor does something or whatever, like they'll be able to pull something out and do it. But I don't see anybody doing anything by the end of the year. They're just, taking it in the pants the last few days, and then we'll see what happens in January. But like I know one thing for next year, like everybody's going to be doing debit cards. Everybody. Yeah. I mean, whether you're a platform or a token yourself or some product or project, everybody wants a debit card, and Visa and MasterCard are going to partner with everybody. They don't care. And I think that's going to be a big catalyst when so many people have crypto debit cards and talking about it, showing people at different restaurants and stores. Hopefully that gets going because I'm waiting on the Stormex card and the Voyager card. Hopefully I get to start using that.
Yeah, that Stormex card looks nice. What is it, like minimum 8% on some stuff on Amazon? That's gonna be nice.
You got to have a bunch of tokens to get 8%, but if you're gold, you get 7.
7, nice.
If you're silver, you'll get 6, and then I think everybody can get 5, whether you hold the token or not.
Well, I think it's the same with I don't know if you're not gonna like this here.
Oh, I mean, I like the card. I'm actually about to do actually somebody sent me, because I'm about to do one too. Someone sent me your video about Crow versus VGX. I haven't watched it yet, but I have a link to it.
Yeah.
And I like Crow. I like what they do for the space. We have to have crypto.com. We have to have them do well and be a leader in that debit card for Voyager to up the ante on their debit card.
Yeah.
And it was just announced on that Mike interview where now when spending with the Voyager debit card, the rewards will be higher.
Yeah.
And I think that's in direct correlation to the competitors.
Yeah.
Because it was underperforming in that, although we could hold more, yes, but I don't need a debit card to do that. Why debit card? And so I think that's a direct correlation to the competitors. So we need the Crow card to do well, or BlockFi or whoever. But yeah, I'm getting distracted by the hat too. You guys need to check it out. But yeah, I love that. I love the competition because the competition is going to be good for the consumers.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't like this card at all. I like that it's metal. That's about it.
Yeah.
But
did you get the free Netflix? It's not even free. They just pay you back.
They pay you back, and they pay you back in CRO token too. It's not like USDC or anything like that. But actually, the way that I got this was actually accidental. So, quick story: I opened up my Crypto.com account last year when CRO was way lower, and I think they gave me like $25 worth of CRO. That was like their bonus or something like that, right? And those $25 actually turned into what I needed. I think you need a minimum of $400 worth of CRO. So those 25 turned into like 350 or something like that when I applied for it. Now it's worth more. But pretty much the reason why I got it was because I was pretty much there. I was like, hey, why not? So it was actually accidental. I didn't actually want it, but I mean, it was there. I was like, might as well. So that's how this happened. So
you could get in, and then the value of your tokens be worth the 4,000, and then you qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If like,
and you can't lose it, right? Once you get there, you can't lose it.
No, I think not, because they force you to stake it for 3 months. So right now, if I wanted, that's another thing I don't like, that I can't trade my CRO. So for example, when it was, I think I staked it when it was like at 40 cents, and it's locked up for 3 months. And during that period, it got to 90 something cents, and everything in me was telling me sell, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't because it was locked. So that kind of sucked. So that's another reason why I don't really like this, is that they force you to lock up your money. And with USDC, if you want to put any USDC in, like let's say USDC that you want to use, you're not going to be earning any interest on it. So that's kind of a bummer also. If you want to earn interest on your USDC, you need to stake that, and it can't be along with, you can't like swipe it and take it out from whatever's being staked, if that makes any sense. So it's I don't like it at all. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it. I mean, the only thing that I like is that it's metal, and it makes a nice noise when you drop it, and it's quite heavy, and that's about it. And it's a nice little flex. But other than that, I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I wouldn't recommend. I mean, if other than maybe getting your free Spotify or whatever, that's what I get, free Spotify. But
your $4,000 Netflix account.
What was that?
Said your $4,000 Netflix and Spotify.
Well, I'm not even at 4,000. I think this was like at when I opened this one, it was like at the 400 one. The 400 only gives you Spotify.
Oh, okay.
You need the 4,000 one for the free Netflix if you also want free Netflix and Spotify. So
I mean, I make fun of that perk. People actually get happy about free Netflix. Like, you realize you're paying $4,000 for a $10 a month benefit? Like,
yeah,
you realize you could put that $4,000 into USDC and get 9%, and that would more than pay for a Netflix. But anyways, it's cool, man.
yeah, it's a whole it's a whole.
But
We
it
could
is
go on
good.
and on.
It is good for you to have it, to use it. I almost went through, putting the $4,000 on there to do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I like I told you, I got to narrow it down to 5, or I got to get rid of it. If it goes up, I got to get rid of it. I would have been so mad like you. I couldn't trade it or sell it.
Yeah,
Because I don't want it long term. But I think it'll do well. I definitely don't bash Crow. Crow is great.
I think it's a good
just not
token.
my choice.
Yeah, it'll do well. But yeah, I mean, just go for anyone that hasn't used like crypto.com, just go and check it out. You'll see what I mean. I like the Voyager way better. But anyways, here we have a question from Obi-Wan. You think they will lower the USDC? I think we already talked about this, right? Interest or booster to offset the extra debit card rewards. You think they will lower the USDC?
I don't think when they come out, because the whole marketing behind the debit card is the 9%.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would eventually, but maybe they'll have to over time if that's the cost of if you spend more to get more. But they're more focused on building wealth than they are on spending your wealth.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I like. If you want to earn, you don't have to make sure you don't spend that much. So I like that aspect, because I'm at least for where I'm at, I'm still in that building phase for.
Yeah. So I would like to ask Steve, or I would like to ask, if they're going to raise the benefit of spending and they raise that percentage or whatever, which they seem to have said they would do.
Yeah.
Where does that money come from that they couldn't do before?
Yeah.
I would like to know where that comes from.
Yeah, I think most debit cards don't really, outside of crypto, debit cards don't offer any. Most don't offer any cashback rewards. I think
way more overhead. I think they all have way more overhead that's figured into what they decide they can or can't do. But there's no extra overhead really, besides some staff maybe to do what Voyager does with the debit card. So.
Is that the BlockFi card? Is that a credit card or a debit card? I haven't really looked into it.
I think they have both.
They have both? I see.
And that's what another thing that's the next step is, who knows if we'll get it next year, but a lot of people want the spending benefit of a credit card because it can be so much more.
Yeah, because I mean, like me, there are things, necessities that you want to spend on, and you might want to use your credit card to earn those rewards, So yeah, I see what you mean. Next question. Can you guys tell me why I haven't received my Voyager card yet? Has it been released?
No, it hasn't.
No,
But
it hasn't been released.
Captain says tomorrow. Check your mailbox. Has not been released yet.
It hasn't been released. I think it's I think I read something debit cards January, something like that, right?
Yeah, next year is all I know. I would guess February, but it'd be sometime next year.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe late January, early February. At least that's what I read last time that I looked into it. That's a timeline that they were giving. So maybe, hopefully, I'm waiting for it.
Still check your mailbox.
Check your mailbox. All right. Any last question? Any questions? Any more questions, DJ? Anything you want to say?
No. I think I want to talk about real quick about because I talk about trading VGX.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about how I do it.
Okay.
Because some people gripe at me for not holding. Like, I will hold certain tiers. That's what I'm here for. I'm with Voyager long term. But I will sell off some tokens when the spike happens and it doesn't make any sense. There's no fundamental change and a crazy spike happens like it did a couple days ago. It goes from under $3 to 380. And along that way, there was no fundamental change. The market wasn't blowing up. I mean, it was going up, but it wasn't blowing up. When there's no fundamental change and it spikes unexplainably, if that's a word, can't be explained. That's when I start taking profits. And I'll sell like a couple hundred tokens on a huge spike. And then as it goes up, I will sell a couple hundred more, and I go 10% increments.
So
if we're at 330, for example, then I'll sell again at like 355 or 360. And then I'll sell again at like 380. But it's actually 10% in my mind, but it's actually less. It's like 8% because I'm also factoring in when I make that trade, I'm also getting tokens back.
Yeah.
And so that ends up making it around 8 or 9%. And the spread's tighter now, which is nice. And so when it tips, now when it comes back down, I'm either going to do one of two things. I'm going to find how much money do I have sitting there now, and I will buy back in to make it just even. And I only get the benefits of the trade amount, or I'm going to try to get a 10% drop below what my trades were. And so that's why I bought back in at like 330. Part of that was different money. Part of that was buying back in.
Yeah.
And so now I have more tokens today than I have all month for multiple months. So
exactly.
No,
and I do the same. So
I do 10% increments.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do it. I don't think I do it as sophisticated as you. I just kind of just see whenever it spikes up, and I say, okay, I can risk this much. Let's say usually lately I've been doing like 100 tokens, so I can risk say 100 tokens, and then when I buy back, I'll buy back 120 or 115, however much it is, so I'll have more tokens than what I did, like you said, than what I had a few days ago. And I think it's important for people to realize that that's one thing that I really do believe in. It's like taking profits, and the way you do it is either by selling and then buying back at a lower price. It's not always going to work out, but at least from my experience, it works out like 80 to 90% of the time. So if you do it correctly and you understand the token and you understand, these are the prices where it usually bounces from and whatnot, then you can do that. But just be careful when doing it, because if you don't really understand the patterns of a token, it can go quite wrong for you. But I agree, because I mean, I spend so much time looking at VGX, and I understand where it bounces back from and where it it has support levels and whatnot, and I feel comfortable doing it with VGX, and that's my way of stacking more VGX without having to pour in all my money through there. So, I don't think.
I think that's ultimately why we're seeing so many more tokens with Voyager holders than off platform, which that's something that Stone Cold tracks, how many tokens are with Voyager holders, and that number is really going up. And eventually the fundamental change will happen. And that's when it's going to be scary for people who are taking profits, because we've seen it before where it goes up so much that you took out too early.
Yeah.
And now you're hosed because you took out too early. And I've seen that happen a few times this past year. Fortunately, able to avoid most of that, except for like back in May or whatever. But I recovered from it. I had way less tokens at the time, but that's going to be the scary thing, is when the fundamental change happens, that's when new support levels will come.
So that's your thing, right? If there's like any big news, you probably won't trade, and you'll wait to see where it bounces back from and things like that, or?
Yeah, so like the Coinbase listing, that's the most recent one.
Yeah.
That was the scary one, is because the price started going up before the announcement was made. And so I took fortunately it was small. I took some profits before I knew why it was happening. And then the announcement came, and then we went, over $5 or whatever it went to. That was the crazy one. But I just kind of, you ride it up, and eventually you sell, like if it's 100 token increments that I may have sold, now I've kind of got to gap it out more. And eventually it goes down, kind of levels out. But now we have that $3 support instead of a $2 support because the fundamental change happened. I don't see us going much below $3 anytime soon because the fundamental change happened of listing on Coinbase.
I feel like that's our new support level. You know, back then it was what, maybe like 220, something like that before the Coinbase listing. So now we're getting new support levels for VGX, and I think it's like that around that $3 mark. So I definitely see that.
We go, which we could easily go under $3 these next few days.
We can, yeah.
And if we do, you're going to see people like myself and others, and like you who understand $3 is the hold. If it goes much below, like 10% below $3, the 280s, the 270s, that's going to be another bottom because so many people know when you go back up, that's an over 10% gain. That's a good swing trade.
That's a nice swing trade. Yep.
And so in the 270s and 280s, you're going to see a lot of money pump back into it.
And so I haven't really looked into it, but how's the VLP 2.0? How's that? Because you mentioned that the VLP 2.0 is going to keep people from trading the token. Why so? Like
because it'll be a fundamental change that will make the price reach a new support.
I see what you mean. So,
and that's what everybody's been waiting for, is like all that we were told was going to be a part of the VLP didn't happen or wasn't able to happen or whatever. And so that's getting hot. So when that happens, that's when more people want to stick with it. If there's more, which that will bring on more benefits to the token itself, of holding the token or finding a new tier or going up a tier, more benefits will be there. And so I think that's the biggest catalyst we're waiting on, is that, which will be coupled with the debit card, because the debit card will be part of that VLP experience. I think they're going to bring that out close together or at the same time or close to it. And that will be, again, another fundamental switch of realizing the VLP of like, okay, these benefits are real. This direct deposit is real. This debit card, spending it, I get cash back. That's going to be Voyager loyalty program related. And I think we're going to have more benefits than we're even told so far. Whether, I think Griffin was talking about a StormX partnership. We know they're partnering with Landon together. We've been told from Pam that the rewards program will reach other ecosystems. And so you're thinking automatically like Particle, where you get on the whitelist earlier. You're thinking StormX, because they've been working together and they've been trying to find a way to get your reward level by holding on the Voyager app. Whatever they can do, we know something is coming. And when all those come, which are not there yet, when they're there for holding the VGX token, new support's going to come.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think those partnerships are going to be huge for Voyager.
Yes, I think like that $4 and $5 support, which we've been there multiple times now. I think that $4 support and then that $5 support, that's going to be coming in the next couple months.
That $6
mark. I thought it'd be happening by the end of the year, but we don't have any catalyst to really get there.
Which is, I mean, I'm completely fine with it, because it gives me the chance to make it to the next tier and make it at a lower price, So I'm completely fine with VGX staying at these levels. It gives me the ability to purchase a little bit cheaper than I know where this token can be. I know that this token shouldn't be worth $3. It should be worth more. I mean, look at the market cap it's what, I'm sure it's under $1 billion now, right? But doesn't make sense to me.
Neville in there, he's talking about the trading from that Coinbase swing is what got him to Navigator. And he and I were talking like we were so nervous.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if that's going to be like, okay, now Coinbase, now this, or if it's just Coinbase and it's done. And it ended up being basically just Coinbase, which is huge for us. But it's just Coinbase and nothing, no like New York listing or expansion or nothing like that. And that was kind of the rumor. I was scared to death. But when the fundamental change happens, the trading gets scary.
It does. Yeah, I don't
So
think if we get any new like fundamental things or announcements, I don't think I'll be doing any trading. I'm going to wait to see the patterns and whatnot, and
right.
I want to get
Like
to
if we
understand.
spike up 30% tomorrow, yeah, I'm going to sell some
Yeah,
tokens.
yeah,
I got to figure out where I want to sell them, but I think there's a $4 cap where a lot of people will take profits. If nothing changes and you get $4, people will sell the token.
yeah,
So I'm going to sell at like 380 or 390 before that $4 comes, which
yeah,
is like a mental barrier for people. And that's just understanding VGX.
yeah,
Um, if nothing changes, there's no more drive for more people to get into it. But I'm only doing that with like excess tokens, right? Like
yeah,
I've got to
yeah,
keep Explorer, I've got to keep Navigator, I've got to keep Adventure. Like,
exactly.
I've got to hold that to get the rewards back.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing too. I'm never going under my tier. So for sure. I don't think we have any more questions. Do we have any last questions before we finish this out? Any last questions? Type them now or forever keep them in your head, I
Or
guess.
forever tweet them later.
Forever tweet them later. There you go. I don't think we have much, but all right.
Yeah.
I think that was fun, man. That was I liked having you on. If you ever want me to hop on your channel, let me know. More than happy to hop on there. I think we got one. Let's see here, Franco. But for sure, I'd be more than happy to hop on your channel. Awesome dude. Really respect what you do out here. For the community. Keep it up, DJ.
Like,
Where is the black tier going to be? Ooh.
that's what my thought is, the 50,000. But I've heard anywhere from 40 to 50,000 up to like 300,000. I'm like, what is the purpose of this next tier? Like, obviously, it doesn't matter. Like, we're just speculating, but in my mind, what is the purpose of this next tier? If it's just to keep someone with 300,000 plus tokens from selling what they have, I don't think that's why it exists, because they would have done it already.
Yeah.
But if it's to actually get someone over time, and I don't think, like, people get caught up with these tiers, like, I have to have it right now, which is the gamification part. Good. But it doesn't have to happen right now. If I have 20,000 tokens and over the next 4 to 5 years, I'm going to trade on the platform, buy more tokens, DCA, get benefits from my debit card, get benefits from stock trading. Whatever leads to more tokens for me, then I can build up naturally to that next tier if it's 50,000. So to me, that makes sense. It takes me as a navigator anywhere from 20 to 50,000 to get me to a next tier, because the price stayed low for so long, which was unexpected. That's why this demand for this next tier is there, because it stayed low for so long. But honestly, if they make it too high, they're going to get a lot of people selling off tokens.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to get a
If
lot of
it's too
people.
high, yeah, they got to make it something where it's feasible for a lot of people that are at the $20,000 token range.
I
Something that.
think, if I think about myself, I'm at the navigator because I wanted to be the top tier. If they make the top tier 300,000 tokens, why the hell would I be a navigator?
Yeah.
What is that? Because the difference between an explorer and a navigator is not a huge difference right now, because we don't have all the pieces there. We're about to have more pieces to the puzzle on the VLP, and you typically have a 50% increase from explorer to navigator. And so we need more of those 50% increases in place. And I think it's coming. So that's why I stay a navigator, or I think people in that position stay a navigator. But if you make another tier so high, I'm going to look at directly, if I can't reach 300,000 tokens, which I can't, I'm going to look at why navigator as opposed to explorer. And is it going to get people to go down to explorer because they set the bar so high, or are they going to incentivize navigators to get to that next tier? I think that's more valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, with that being, I mean, do you think they'll do another tier, say for like I'm guessing if the price of EGX goes up, they would have to do a lower tier, right? Like a
Yeah,
tier,
they'll do a
more of a
lower tier
tier.
for sure.
Like I'm thinking like at the 100. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this year turns out for VGX. I mean, if it goes up to $10, I think they're gonna have to do another tier over here. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks, Franco, for the question.
And like people are talking about exclusive, like people are missing what is exclusive now and what is exclusive a year from now, and they're not going to change it a year from now. They're not going to keep adapting and changing this model. They're Steve has said that he wants it to be a 12 to 18 month, not changing it again plan. And so having, let's say it goes to 250,000 tokens and the token itself goes to $10. You're going to tell me that your exclusive tier is worth $2.5 million? Get
Yeah,
out of here. That's
yeah,
stupid. So that can't be the answer. And I would ridicule that answer. I mean, I don't really care what they do. They would have a reason. They have the data and all that stuff. But a $2.5 million benefit a year from now, if we all think it's going to $10, most of us think it can get to $10 in the next year. That's what they would produce. Whereas the black card tier for crypto.com is $400,000.
yeah,
And right now you're sitting at what, 60,000? So if you up that to a $5 token at 50,000, now you've got $250,000 benefit. That seems to make more sense if you got a $5 to $10 token,
yeah,
because we don't do it the same way as crypto.com where it's a dollar amount. Once you make it a token amount, you better get there quick because you're not going to get there later with that token going up.
yeah, yeah,
And the amount of people that can have, let's say 50,000 tokens is so minimal. You're talking 1% to 2% can even have that at this point. That's pretty exclusive enough. That's kind of my case for 50,000. If I had to bet at the casino, what are they going to choose? I would say between 40 to 75,000 at most, but 50,000 makes the most sense. But if they do 200,000, if they do over 100,000 tokens, I'm probably going to criticize it, not to be an asshole about it, but in the sense of like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're thinking the whole gamification part of it, if something is too difficult, you're just gonna give up. It's a lot of people are more than like thinking about a video game gamification.
Yeah.
If it's too difficult, you just give up. It's too hard. I don't want to do this. So I'm thinking like same thing there. If it's too difficult to get to that next level, why even try to get there?
Yeah. So I think, and they have it again. I will always go back to they have the data. They know, are there enough people between this range that will go up based on their, like, what are they doing on the platform? Are they building tokens? Or are they staying at 20,000? So it doesn't matter because they won't go up. They're staying at 20,000. So they have all the data they need to make that decision of is it something we want to get the people who have 30,000 up to 50, and will they do it because they have money other places or something like that? Or is it just people have 100,000 plus tokens, we don't want them dumping on the market, what benefits can we provide them? And that's what it is, just honor the ones you got there, or institutional money, or big money like that. um I don't know, but
Yeah,
I would make the case for the 50,000 range.
yeah. I think I'd agree with that. I think that's a good range. I'm not really if it. Then Obi had the question here if it's business directed. I don't know how many. Do we have that data? How many businesses are with Voyager, and how many would actually? I don't know. I haven't really looked
They
into
don't
that
have
data.
business accounts set up.
No.
um should they? I think so. It'd be great. Kraken does that. um There's some others that do that, but Voyager does not yet. And also, it's to the retail consumer is what Voyager is for. So, is there a potential to get big institutional money like what Coinbase does? They have more of that than anyone. Yeah, the potential is there. They could easily get it, but the intent and purpose behind who Voyager is, who Steve is, and the direction of the company is the retailer.
Yeah.
And so I think with that in mind, I don't think they would sway away from that. But I mean, they could. They definitely could.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that's any last words, DJ, before we end this up?
No. Take your elderberry.
All right. I think that
up like
was
me.
fun. Yeah, that was fun. Thank you guys for being here. DJ, one last thing. Can I see you with that raccoon hat one more time? I need
Yeah,
it.
let me get.
Man, that's gonna be that beautiful.
Call me Daniel Boone.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, what you got there?
Got my Mountain Dew socks.
Woo!
Jingle bells, baby.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. DJ, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good night, guys. And if I don't see you guys till the new year, well, Happy New Year. And have a great rest of your week. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.